Sup y'all, Winnie here, and today we're going to be checking out SCP-1488 partially roboticized tortoises. I do want to preface this with, I took my inhaler immediately before recording, just to make sure that I wasn't going to start wheezing while talking like I did when I was doing Assassin's Creed. But that might have the side effect of I start coughing, because sometimes the inhaler makes me get worse than I was when I used it. I don't know why. But, onwards to those tortoises. It sounds pretty open and shut. It's probably not, though. Don't be Keter. Okay. There's a picture of it. SCP-1488 100 something, photographed by Retrieving Unit R3V-14886. SCP-1488 1 through 214 are housed in an underground enclosure within Site-15, provided with artificial sunlight and climate control adjusted to mimic the conditions of the Bolson de Mapimi area of Mexico, with adequate seasonal variation. And what's that say? Numbers belonging to instances dying in containment have not been reassigned. At present, the series encompasses 183 instances. See Table B, or 7B, for a current record of individual assignments and neutralization dates. The article does not look like it's long enough to actually have that, so food and water may be delivered to the enclosure as needed via security corridors furnished with lead-lined doors. That makes it sound like they're probably radioactive. Unless it's a Faraday cage. Antenna may have been placed throughout the enclosure to receive transmissions from 1488 instances, and a researcher must enter the enclosure at least once every 24 hours to retrieve transmission records. An electromagnetic pulse (EMP) device has been relocated to the center of the enclosure and must be kept armed and ready to fire at all times. So I guess these are Euclid because they're alive. And they're not Keter because they can contain them. 6 computer-operated robotic remote recovery vehicles designated R3V-1488 through 1 through 6 have been deployed at various locations in northern Mexico and tasked with cataloging and retrieving more turtles to be either tagged and released or transported to Site-15 for SP assignment. Junior research assistants assigned to 1488 are reminded that R3V units regularly communicate with Site-15 and that all communications must be reviewed and logged within 24 hours. In light of the large number of 1488 candidates still unaccounted for, 2 junior research assistants are regularly assigned to actively monitor online auction sites, wildlife sanctuaries, and unlicensed pet stores for potential instances and notify project heads accordingly. With the species in question at the center of several conservation/rewilding efforts, Foundation members have been embedded in at least one of the more prominent agencies overseeing each project. Okay, so description. Instances of SCP-1488 were initially identified as individual specimens of Gopherus flavomarginatus. I might have said that right. The Mexican giant tortoise that had been augmented with electronic and mechanical components, like that one turtle from Jojo Part 5? Probably not like that. However, larger scale research has demonstrated that older instances have, on average, a greater instance of synthetic components than younger, that anomalous parents are capable of producing non-anomalous offspring, and that recent paleontological discoveries point to a species far more synthetic in composition than the one observable today. For example, document 1488-51 ARC Weird Giant Prehistoric Turtle with Artificial Limbs uncovered in Mexico, blank.com, blank blank blank, and related incident disinformation and medication logs, etc. These findings, in addition to the sheer number of instances discovered, strongly suggest that G. flavomarginatus species itself consists largely or entirely of robotic vehicles in varying states of assimilation through means currently unknown into the genus Gopherus. Roughly 850 instances are believed to exist out of a candidate population that one third-party conservation group estimates at over 10,000 individuals. While the majority of giant tortoises evaluated for 1488 are wholly biological, non-anomalous, and have fully integrated into the Mapimi Basin's ecosystem, nearly 8.5% of the specimens recovered thus far have been found to possess vestigial communication devices. Compound metal spheres uniformly 18mm in diameter with a complex internal structure, embedded beneath the highest point of the tortoise's shell. Nearly all of the devices recorded appear to be operational, periodically emitting signals in the something-something range. Although communication devices are by far the most common anomalies observed in instances of 1488, They are often accompanied by one or more of the following components: one or more partially robotic limbs, subcarapacial solar arrays, series of graduated optical lenses, spectroscopic tubes showing traces of alpha particle emitters, digging or excavating tools, electrically actuated magnetic coils, drill machinery with cylindrical or coring bits. It should be noted that the items above are invariably inoperative and in many cases only identifiable by shape. Feeling more and more like this one's just based off of the turtle from Part 5 with Jojo. Incident Delta. At some point in the 1990s, a massive increase in the blank radio frequency activity was reported simultaneously by 2 of 3 active R3V-1488 units, as well as the SCP-1488 receiver array at Site-15, lasting a total of 132 seconds, which is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Approximately 70 hours later, an answering signal was returned from an unambiguous origin, RA equals blank 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 with something declination, an area of the sky not known or observed to be occupied at the time. In contrast to the relatively short duration and comparatively narrow frequency range of the outgoing spike, the answering signal lasted over 7 hours and 45 minutes and occupied a much wider band of frequencies, giving rise to a variety of unprecedented radiological, meteorological, and geological phenomena, much of it, such as redacted, globally observable. Following 1488 Delta, containment protocols for 1480 instances were revised and the number of R3V units assigned doubled to reduce the likelihood of a repeat incident. Okay. I feel like this one probably shouldn't be Euclid, since you actually have to actively hunt for them because they exist in the wild naturally and you don't have all of them. But I also wouldn't say it deserves to be Keter, since it's not, as far as we can tell, going to end the world. But, that hole's kind of shaped like a foot. That's going to do it for this entry. I don't know what I thought partially roboticized tortoises was going to be, but it couldn't have been this. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, don't. If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well to be notified of future uploads, because that's what it's supposed to do. Sometimes it just don't. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.